Now it's all about whether USC will earn the right to do something to the Buckeyes.
And USC coach Pete Carroll said he doesn't know how to figure out all that BCS stuff, but he did know this. For his team to have any chance at Ohio State, they needed to beat Notre Dame, something they had done in each of the last 4 years. The Trojans third in the BCS, entering Saturday, trailing Michigan by a very slim margin. The game was so big, even Ron Burgundy was there to cover it. Charlie Weis getting his troops ready. Dwayne Jarrett missed a couple of practices because of a concussion against Cal, but he played against the Irish. Opening drive for Notre Dame, fourth down, they go for it. Brady Quinn overthrows everybody, so the Irish turn it over on downs. Ensuing possession for USC, first and goal, John David Booty, Dwayne Jarrett, touchdown. 7-0 Trojans, their offense started strong. After a punt return of 42 yards, Booty play fake, Steve Smith down to the 1. Notre Dame didn't see speed like this against the service academies. They left Chinadum and Dukwe all by himself on Smith, and he had no chance. Ball on the 1-yard line. After USC false start penalty, they had to move back, but Jarrett 6'5", too big for the defender. 7 catches, $132 for him. USC up 14-0. Later in the first, Quinn looking for Jeff Samardzija. This will be good for 24 yards. 6 catches, 79 yards for Samardzija. Same drive, second and goal from the 10. Watch the play by Terrell Thomas to get a hand up and knock the ball away. Quinn looking for Rhema McKnight. Notre Dame would have to settle for a field goal. Second quarter, it's 14-3 now. USC going for it on 4th and 1. C.J. Gable down to the 1. That would lead to a Booty touchdown. USC scores on the first 3 drives to go up 21-3. Gable, 20 carries, 107 yards. Here comes Quinn, flushed out of the pocket, keeps it. He'll tuck it and go 60 yards. Problem was, he was Notre Dame's leading rusher with 74 yards, and he got 60 of them on that play. First and goal for the Irish. Darius Walker coughs it up. 14 carries, 56 yards, and the fumble for Walker, and the Irish come up empty again. USC couldn't move the ball. They were forced to punt from deep in their own territory, and Steve Quinn with the block. So special teams play puts Notre Dame in position. So Notre Dame ball on the USC 7-yard line now. Quinn, great play fake, and Marcus Freeman able to get free in the end zone. Quinn's 33rd touchdown pass this season, breaking his own Notre Dame single-season record. But later, it's Booty to Jarrett. Jarrett single-handedly taking over the game. That's a top play nominee. 2 plays later, USC punching it in on their first drive of the second half. Impressive drive. Chauncey Washington finished it up. It's 28-10 Trojans. Later in the third, Quinn on 3rd and 6. Can't find anybody. Sedrick Ellis finds him. And Quinn a bit shaken up on the hit. Appeared to injure his shoulder. And later in the third, 4th and goal for the Irish. They go for it. This time they do convert. Rhema McKnight. Notre Dame down 28-17. 6 catches, 109 yards for McKnight. Fourth quarter, Booty to Jarrett. They can't bring him down. 3rd touchdown of the game. Extra point no good, so it's 37-17. Onside kick attempt for Notre Dame after a touchdown. Brian Cushing not fooled a bit. He takes it to the house, 42 yards. USC goes on to win it as Charlie Weis and company suffered their first loss in November with Weis at the controls. 44-24 is the final. USC remains perfect in November under Pete Carroll. So now with the win over UCLA next week, Trojans look like a safe bet to face Ohio State for the BCS title. They've beaten the Bruins 7 straight times, by the way. Notre Dame suffered its 2nd loss of the season after an 8-game win streak, but a 10-2 Notre Dame team still looks like an at-large pick for a BCS bowl. This was John David Booty's moment, and he was ready. In his 4 games against BCS top 25 teams, Booty has averaged over 255 yards per game. He threw for 3 scores against Arkansas, Nebraska, and Notre Dame, and combined just 2 picks in those 4 games, both of them Saturday against the Irish, with 3 touchdown passes made sure the picks weren't a problem. More importantly, USC won all 4 of those games.
Whatever the system says, they'll figure it out. The only thing I can say, and this is as strong as I'll ever be about anything, is we played a heck of a schedule this season, and I don't know what more you can do, other than we've got to win them all. We screwed up 1 game.
We didn't win on special teams. We didn't win on offense. We didn't win on defense. Stats are for losers. I can sit there and tell you how we both had the same number of yards in the game, but the bottom line is we moved the ball. We didn't get the ball. We didn't put the ball in the end zone early in the game when we were moving it some.
Actually, they recruited me and then they dropped my scholarship because they didn't think I was going to make the grades. And so that kind of been my little thing with Notre Dame, you know, with going against them, you know, just always being up. And I just try to always give that little extra effort.
Coming into this weekend, USC was just 7/1,000th of a point behind Michigan in the BCS standings. The win over Notre Dame figures to vault them into the second spot. However, keep this in mind, USC was already second in both the coaches and Harris polls. That makes up 2/3 of the BCS average, and USC's computer rating could be hurt slightly by Arkansas's loss. And while Michigan sits and waits helplessly, USC still has another game to play Saturday.